Okay, hello again, everyone, and welcome back for another Task 2 live stream. So, as we do every Thursday, we're going to look at a Task 2 question. You're going to tell me what you would write in response to the question, and I am going to give you feedback. So, in case you're new to Complete Test Success, the way this works is I'm not actually teaching you how to write a Task 2 essay. I've already made lessons to show you that, so I'll share those with you. And if you haven't already completed those lessons, you can use these links. So you'll find that in the comments. But the idea then is you've completed those lessons and now you're going to try doing it for yourself. And you're most likely making some mistakes. I'll be able to show you what those mistakes are. And then with that information, you will know how to improve your scores. So that's the basics of what we're going to do. So with that, we get started. Hi, Fat. Good to see you here again. And Maravik is here. Hi, Maravik. So with that, let's get started. And the first thing I want you to do is I want you to write the paraphrase. So here's the question. Each country has its own traffic laws, such as speed limits, to ensure the safety of its citizens. However, many of these laws are broken every day. So the paraphrase is basically rewriting this part of the question in your own words. So I want you to do that now. Share it with me in the comments, and I will have feedback based on what you write. The most important thing here is that you don't change the meaning and that what you write is very clear. So the meaning needs to stay the same, and I need to be able to understand what you've written. Hello there. Good to see you here. If anybody has any other questions or anything they want to say, please feel free to add that to the comments as well. But for now, I'll just give you some time to write that paraphrase. Hello, Nancy. Good to see you here again. Hope you're doing well. Teacher, how can I get your phone number, please? Please tell me. I don't use my phone to help students with the IELTS test, but just tell me what you need. I can definitely help you. Like I use email. My email is probably the best way to contact me. My email is lar@completetestsuccess.com. So you're more than welcome to reach out there. Or if you want to just explain to me what you need in the comments, I can help you here as well. Hello, Manpreet. Welcome to the lesson. And what we're doing at the moment is writing the paraphrase for the question on the screen. I'm a little bit weak in listening. Okay. So let me share a listening lesson with you here. Here you go. I've just shared a link with you for an IELTS listening lesson. So that'll help you there. Okay, so Saru has shared her paraphrase with me. If you haven't already shared your paraphrase, continue writing it and share it with me, but I'm going to start giving feedback here. So Saru, hope you're doing well. Though every so nation should be singular, we don't put every with a plural noun. It's every, and we use the singular noun. Though every nation has its own traffic rules for the safety of their people, they are still broken each day. In that second clause, so after the comma, they isn't 100% clear. Now, I mean, it's easy to guess what you mean, but you're talking about nations, you're talking about rules, and you're talking about people from those nations. So essentially, the word "they" could refer to any three of those. Now, it only logically refers to one. It only makes sense in the context, but that pronoun doesn't. There are too many potential nouns that you're referring to from the first clause, so you'd really need to repeat the phrase. So to say, and these rules are still broken each day. So the word "they" isn't used accurately there. Hey Rupinder, good to see you here again. And Coco, yes, very happy to have you here. Absolutely. So get involved, Coco. We are writing the paraphrase at the moment. Okay, Ifat. Every country has its own traffic laws, like speed limits, to make sure its citizens. So you could say it like this: to make sure of its citizens' safety, or to make sure its citizens are safe. So either way. Then you have a full stop, but you need a space between the full stop and however. And then after however, you need a comma. So 2 punctuation mistakes there. However, most of these laws are broken almost every day. Every day should be 2 words, and you've paraphrased. So in the question here, it says many, and you've paraphrased that as most, but many and most do not have the same meaning. So that is unfortunately not an appropriate synonym to use there. Okay, Manpreet. Without a doubt, no, don't say anything, like don't add any twists or any extra things like that. When you're paraphrasing the question statement, you just want to have the exact same meaning. Nothing extra, nothing less. So I'd remove those 3 words and say every nation obeys transportation. No, because then we're talking about the nation as the country, so they create these rules, like the country, the government, whatever, make the rules, and then it's the people are supposed to obey them. So the word "obey" doesn't make sense here. Such as speed limits, and that has to be plural, for the safety of their. That's incorrect spelling of their. People is a plural noun, so you don't need an S. Which are broken by these people on a daily basis. Hey Satija, long time no see. Good to see you back here. Okay, each nation has their own traffic laws to certify. No, certify isn't right. To ensure the safety of their people, but many of these laws are broken. So that's a spelling mistake. Are broken every day. So you don't need the word in. And Gita, good to see you here. Every nation has their own traffic rules, like speed limits, in order to safeguard their people. Nevertheless, these laws are violated each day. You need a full stop at the end, and violated isn't the best because you don't. I just keep it with broken. That's a good paraphrase. That's a good paraphrase, though. Okay, let me grab that one. And I'm just going to pop this in here. Every nation has their own traffic rules, like speed limits, in order to safeguard their people. Oh, its people. That's a common. I mean, strictly speaking, it should be its, but that's how we speak in English. So it's we often refer to a nation as their instead of its. Strictly speaking, it should be its. Nevertheless, these laws are broken. That's our paraphrase finished. Of course, we need the full stop at the end. Next, we need to generate ideas. But before that, can you tell me how many main ideas do we need for this question? How many main ideas do we need for our answer? Every country has. So you're using an article with a plural. So it's laws is plural. So we don't need an article. So you work on that grammar. Like speed limits in order to make the roads safe for their people. But comma. So it's refers to one, but we're referring to laws as in plural. So it'd have to be, but they are broken. And the question said every day. So we're talking to how often, but then you're saying everywhere. So you're talking about the number of places. So every day and everywhere are different. So just be careful that your paraphrasing has the exact same meaning. Okay, so I asked you how many main ideas, Sathija, Saru, Kulwant. We need 4, which is correct. And Kulwant has gone into more detail. 2 for causes and 2 for measures, exactly. So you see here, it says causes and that S at the end. We have an S here. And what measures. So both of those are plural. So we cannot give one cause because we've been asked for more than one. We cannot just give one measure because we have been asked for more than one. So that's what I want you to do next is tell me what main ideas would you use in this essay? What main ideas can we use? Hello, Kevin. Home Alone fan, I presume. Neil, although each nation has its own traffic laws, including limited speed to guarantee the security of its citizens. No, security is different, and limited speed isn't the same thing as like speed limits. So that it doesn't convey the same meaning, so that's not appropriate. To continue then, many of these laws are broken daily, and we need to write 4 main ideas. Yeah, good. Obviously, for anyone who's not 100% sure, Neil is answering my question as well as writing the paraphrase. That we need to write 4 main ideas would not be part of the essay. Okay, good job, Neil. Rupinder, every nation has their own traffic rules to ensure the safety of the citizens or their citizens. Either one would be fine. Many of these laws are not obeyed by the people. The primary reasons are lack of strictness and awareness. Okay, that works. And obviously, sorry, Rupinder, obviously you need measures as well. Causes people are in a hurry to reach their destination. Good. Sometimes government fail to implement the rules strictly. Okay, good. They're all suitable. Yep. So you have all suitable, 2 suitable causes there. But obviously, Kulwant, we need the measures as well. I know you know that. Measures. Authorities should impose high fines for breaking these rules. Good. Synesthesia causes modern day people are busy and they haven't good knowledge of their country's laws. First one is too vague. So that's a different, like, basically you're saying that they don't have enough time, so they're driving quickly. But when you just say they're busy, that doesn't imply anything about driving. So you need to link it more closer to that, the fact that they're driving quickly. Like if you see Kulwant's idea, so basically you and Kulwant had the same idea, but your description was too vague, whereas Kulwant's is specific. So he said people are in a hurry to reach their destinations. So that's what you need to say, very specific, and make sure that it's, you know, clearly related to the context of the question. Okay, Kamal. The government of every nation made some rules and regulations for the safety of its people, but these people do not take it seriously and always breach. And then the word them doesn't clearly relate to the rules, because our focus at the moment is on the people. So when you use the pronoun they or them in this case, and our focus is already on people, then the assumption is the pronoun is referring to the thing that we are focused on. So you'd have to repeat the word laws here rather than using a pronoun. But then as well, you've added this extra bit about people don't take them seriously. I wouldn't go adding extra bits of information like that. So just paraphrase exactly what the question statement said. Don't add extra bits like that. Okay, there are private traffic. No, not private traffic regulations. No, that's not it. The word private doesn't fit here. For each country to preserve the safety of their people. So then you need what's it called? A semicolon. However, comma, many people do not commit them. You've used the word commit incorrectly here as well, I'm afraid. Every country has different traffic laws like speed limits in order to guarantee the I saw this one already. Hey Arzu, hope you're doing well. Causes hurry to reach the desired destinations, lack of government strictness on rules. Yep, good. Rupinder, in order to tackle this issue, stringent regulations need to be implemented, and the importance of traffic laws should be raised. I don't know what that means. To raise the importance, I don't know what that means, unfortunately. And Saru, it's mainly due to the lack of awareness regarding traffic rules among people, and they want to look cool violating traffic rules. Okay, this can be solved by proper public awareness regarding these rules and giving strict punishment to those who violate these rules. You spelled violate incorrectly, Saru, but that's a good outline statement. Manpreet causes sometimes people are late you don't need to say according to their schedule. Sometimes people are late, so they drive fast or rash and unknowingly break the rules. When teenagers are driving, they don't know the rules. Yep, that makes sense. Okay, so let me get back to my outline statement. Let's write another few here. So the main causes of the situation are people in a hurry to reach their destinations, and these rules aren't strictly enforced. To resolve its issue. Now let me just quickly go back and let me find some of your ideas. Rupinder. Stringent regulation. So we already have the regulations actually. So I didn't spot this first time. It has to be stringent punishments. Because we've said that there are already rules, but they're being broken. So it's not that the rules need to be more strict, it's that the punishments need to be more strict. So let's put that in. And let me just find another one here. Governments should organize awareness seminars to make people aware of the importance of the rules. Yep, that's good. I believe lack of stringent laws and lack of awareness are the major problems. Plural, good. No, the major causes, not the major problems. The major causes. This can be resolved by implementing the laws strictly, and also the government should promote awareness programs through different media outlets. Good. Okay, you're very welcome. Did you see that listening lesson I shared with you? Government and traffic police should take necessary steps to control this issue. That's too vague, Manpreet. That's too vague. What steps? So the idea is you need to tell me the steps, but what you're doing is you're telling me who should do it, not how we would do it. So that's not an appropriate response. Our zoo measures government should introduce strict policies. So I think strict punishments make more sense. More awareness must be created toward traffic rules among society. So everyone has the same idea to have awareness campaigns. Yeah, and that's appropriate. Sathija, government must want to take strict actions to regulate those laws. So this must want to is a bit confusing the way you've written that. But the idea is okay. Number 2, driving license should give after a standard exam. So stricter driving tests. I like it. I'm going to put that one in. So to resolve this issue, there needs to be stricter punishments and more difficult driving tests. Okay. So from there, that's the introduction written. And from there, we need to write the body paragraphs. Now, what you need to keep in mind, like most questions require 2 main ideas. And when we need 2 main ideas, we'll just have like one long paragraph about one idea and one long paragraph about the second idea. Then sometimes you need 3 ideas, and in this case, you need 4 ideas. And when you need 4 ideas, because it's very uncommon, it doesn't happen very often that you need 4 ideas, but students are so familiar with writing like long explanations and giving examples for each idea that they tend to overwrite. They tend to write too much about each of the ideas when there are 4. And that means that, they don't have enough time to proofread, or they don't have enough time to finish the essay, or, some other issue relating to time. So really, when there are 4 main ideas, you just have like one in the body paragraphs, like one sentence to develop it. And that development might be an explanation, might be an example, basically whatever's easiest for you to work with. But we don't want a lot of development for each of the ideas. So that's something to keep in mind. So what I want you to do next is to say, let's take the first idea. So we had this one here. The main causes of this situation are people in a hurry. Okay, so people in a hurry to reach their destination. So that's our first idea today. And what I want you to do is to tell me, how would we develop, or how would you develop that idea? So how would you develop that idea? Okay, so let me go back. Manpreet, you got that? That's good. As long as you understand your mistake, that's fine. Making mistakes isn't a big issue in a lesson like this. As long as you understand them and you know how to avoid them, that's perfect. Neil, 2 main causes. 1, police are corrupt in many countries. Why are... I don't see. And by taking bribes, police do to punish the people who break the rules. The police do not punish the people. So people are breaking the rules because of corrupt police. But that's what happens. So if they break the rule and then they get caught by the police, they've already broken the rule. So I'm not sure how that works. I know I don't understand how that works, Neil. Like, if I don't see how I would be more likely to break the rules if the police are corrupt. So you might have something in mind, and you might be right. I can't say for sure you're wrong, but you haven't presented it in a way that it's obvious why the rules are being broken. So at this point, if you use that as your main idea, I would have to wait until I see your body paragraph to see if it makes sense or not. But that's not a good situation to be in. It should be very clear how your main idea connects to the question. And you haven't done that. So I'm not saying it's relevant. I'm not saying it's vague. I'm just saying it isn't obviously connected right now. So number 2, lacking of logistic support so the police can identify the culprits and take them into custody. So this is the second one I get. So the second one, you're saying that the people, again, I would phrase it differently. So the second one, I would say, it's because the citizens know they are probably not going to get caught by the police. That second one, that's how I would phrase it. Because the citizens know that the police are too busy to catch them or too busy to punish them, whatever. That makes sense. Wow. I didn't even know you were doing the test, Kulwant. Awesome. Congratulations. That's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Well done. Fantastic news. That's great, Kulwant. Very, very good. Well done. Delighted to hear that now. Measures 1, heavy fines. Yep. Perfect. Heavy fines is absolutely spot on. Okay, so we have some advice here from Kulwant. Just got a band 7. What I learned is that don't try to write complex ideas. A candidate should only focus on thinking simple but relevant ideas. Anything complex will make your task complicated. Exactly. I couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. Thank you for sharing that, Kulwant. That's excellent. People are too... Okay, so the language is wrong here. So you need to say, people are in too much of a hurry. So you need the full phrase. People are in too much of a hurry to reach their work, home, or other place that they want to go. So what you've done is repeated our idea that people are in a hurry to reach their destinations. But the next thing you need to do is you need to develop that. So you need to explain how that happens, explain why that happens, or an example would be okay as well. When you have more main ideas, it's better to start with an explanation. Excuse me, that's completely wrong. When you have fewer main ideas, like if you only had 2 main ideas, giving an explanation and then an example is the easiest way to develop it. But because you only need a small amount of development, just jumping straight to an example would also be appropriate. Sathija, people are in a hurry to reach their destination because of the road traffic jams. Because many individuals are commuting, that's a spelling mistake, commuting to their work, specific time. The wording is wrong here. So basically what you're trying to say is because they need to reach their destination at a certain time or before a certain time is how you want to say that. As a result, the roads are busy during that time. But what laws are they breaking? So if they're stuck in traffic jams, it's difficult to break a law when you're stuck in a traffic jam because you can't really do anything wrong because you're stuck there. You can't go anywhere. So you can't really, I mean, you can't get done for speeding if you're in a traffic jam. So you need to elaborate more. Like, what are you talking about? Like people going through red lights? Is that the problem? That the light's gone red, but they don't care. They just go anyway. You need to be you need to explain that more clearly, Satisha. Binny, hello, sir. I just joined Lounge. Is it too late? No. So you can see what we've done on screen. We've written the introduction for what you're looking at here, questions on top, and our introduction down here. So we finished the introduction, and now we're just considering how we would develop those ideas. So the one I've highlighted, the task at the moment is to say, how would you develop that idea? Kulwant, your one-on-one lessons help me a lot. Very glad to hear that. And I think as well, just like there are times, just to kind of elaborate on what Kulwant is saying, there are times when you probably don't like me very much because my feedback is so cutting. I don't mix my words, and I tend to tell people very direct what they're doing wrong. And I know that can be difficult at times, but Kulwant was able to take all the feedback I gave him on board. He was able to adapt his writing because he was using my one-on-one correction service. He was able to adapt his writing, and he always had the thing with Kulwant is he always had the language ability to get the score he needed, but what he didn't have was the exam skills. So just making small little mistakes, like what main ideas to use, how to develop those main ideas, those types of mistakes. So this is really, really good news. I know it's a live class and I'm interrupting again and again. I'm delighted to hear this, Kulwant. I'm delighted to hear your good news. Just received my CD Ielts a few moments ago. Awesome. That's so good. And you're very, very welcome. Very welcome indeed. Arzu, is my Zoom class sorted now? Yeah. Yep. Let me share that with the other students just so that they know what we're talking about here. Okay, so Arzu is referring, I have free live feedback lessons on Zoom for task 1, task 2, and speaking every week. So I'll just share the link for you to join those. So those are for my subscribers. Click on the link, sign up for the free live feedback lessons, and you'll be able to join me for those every week, as well as my live streams on Facebook and YouTube. I also have those free group classes. But I had actually two issues with the Zoom software. One where I got kicked out early, and then another one where Zoom put passwords on my meetings without telling me. So the short answer, Arzu, is yes, they are sorted now. They are sorted now. But yeah, Monday's class. Or am I wrong? Tuesdays? Yeah, Tuesday's class had the passwords on it, but it was working again yesterday. Okay, so back into this. Copious private cars are used. Not sure what that doesn't really respond to any part of the question. So I'm not sure why you're saying that, but I'm pretty confident that that is not appropriate for our answer. So which two are the main ideas? So we had lots of different main ideas. I just chose a few of the main ideas that you shared with me. But we had this one highlighted. This is the one we're talking about now. Then there was this one here. So that was the second one. And then we had stricter punishments was the first measure, and more difficult driving tests was the second measure. So this question needed 4 ideas. So that's what you're looking at there. Okay. Amadichuku. People are in a hurry to beat up time. That isn't a phrase in English. So, and I see this again and again. You are trying to use what you think is less common vocabulary to push up your score, but what you're actually doing is using vocabulary that doesn't belong together, and it doesn't mean anything. So if you just said that in more simple language, it would be a better response. So people are in a hurry to arrive on time, especially where the traffic checks especially where traffic checks are not properly in place. People tend to break the traffic rules and bypass the signs. So here you're not really getting to the core of it. So your development has to be an explanation. Oh, excuse me. So you need to explain, why do people drive fast when they're in a hurry? It's completely logical. I mean, it's because they have a deadline. They're more worried about being late than they are about breaking the law. But you need to say that. And then you're adding this thing about where there aren't proper checks in place. So you're talking about where they are more likely to break the law, but I don't need to know where they're more likely to do it. I need to know, why are they doing it when they're in a hurry? And that's what you need to tell me, but you haven't. So this doesn't help to develop the idea, unfortunately. I think some people do not apply traffic rules because they lack knowledge of them and they're in a rush to arrive at their destination. Yep, that's good. Those ideas are suitable. Good evening, sir. Hi, Ron. Excellent. Good to see you here. I know it's your reading that you're struggling with. Honestly, Ron, I would say, like, you're more than welcome to join, but the fact that you can already get your writing scores, this lesson isn't really what you need. I'm not saying I'm not saying you that I don't want you here. I'm just saying that, you know, you obviously have a limited amount of time, so I prefer to see you focusing on your reading. Sorry if that's rude, but you know that's what needs your attention. Rupinder, most of the laws are broken by people during rush hour, as they are in a hurry to reach their destination at a certain time. As a result, commuters drive at a higher speed than the allowed limit. I don't understand. Maybe because Satish just said the same thing, but people, like, when it's rush hour, you can't speed. Am I wrong? Maybe things are different. Maybe things are different in where you're living in India. But to the best of my knowledge, typically the thing about rush hour is you cannot speed because there's nowhere to go. That's the thing, right? Maybe I'm missing something. The fact that you and Sathija had the same ideas, but to me that doesn't make sense. Arzu, you're very welcome. So Arzu's talking about the free live feedback lessons. So I have a task 2 lesson tomorrow. So if you haven't already subscribed, you can subscribe right now and join me at my task 2 lesson on Zoom tomorrow. Those of you who have subscribed, obviously you know how to do that already. Then as well, I have one-on-one feedback. So like the one Kulwant was talking about, the essay corrections that he used. And I also have a writing course. So if you want to access that more one-on-one support and get more hands-on guidance from me, you'll find those with the same link. Gita, people are in a hurry to reach their destination because they want to reach their workplace on time and forget to follow traffic rules, which leads to several road accidents. Don't worry talking about road accidents. We only want to focus on the rules being broken. So just focus on that. Okay. Yeah. So you have actually explained it. You said that because they want to get there on time, they forget to follow the rules, or more likely, they're more worried about arriving on time than they are about the following the rules. Okay. The recent research study. So it would be recent research or a recent study, but not research study. So they have the same meaning, but they're not used together. So let's say a recent study explained that more than 50% of accidents are caused due to excessive speed limits. No, because now you start talking about accidents, but we're not concerned with accidents. We're only concerned with breaking the rules. Whether that leads to accidents or not, we're not concerned about. And also, you said that accidents are caused by people breaking the speed limit, but what you need to talk about is people breaking the rules because they're late for work or they're trying to get to work on time. So your example is not talking about what the main idea is. So you've gone off topic with that one. Hi, Stella. Mr. Lesson's been busy with training and work. Yeah, I understand completely. Absolutely, yeah. You can always watch the recordings. And the thing as well is, like, what you'll see as well with the recordings is you're going to generate the same ideas that the other students are generating. So I don't necessarily have to look at what you've written. You'll just see, oh, okay, this was my idea. This other student had the same idea, and the feedback is that that idea is appropriate or that that idea is not appropriate. There are only a limited number of possible ideas that you can have for most questions. So the recording, you'll still get a lot out of it. Sathija, as many individuals have similar working periods, they are in a hurry to reach their destinations without considering the traffic lights on the road. Yep, that's better. Good. Okay, so, all right, it seems like you guys are getting the idea of that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to jump to... All right, so we've kind of covered that fairly well. And these rules aren't strictly enforced. Let's have a look at one of the measures. To resolve this issue, there needs to be stricter punishments. Okay, let's have a look at this one. Okay, to resolve this issue, there needs to be stricter punishments. So same task as before. I want you to tell me, how can we develop this idea? If you haven't already shared how you would develop that first idea, and you have it written, just share it with me. If you haven't already written it, just move on to this idea, so that we're all kind of focused on the same thing. Okay. Okay, Saru. Due to huge traffic, that's not a phrase, Saru. Huge traffic doesn't mean anything. People stuck over there. Where is over there? So that's not clear. And then you need the auxiliary verb. So people are stuck. And they couldn't. Oh, sorry, that's not an auxiliary verb. Just people are stuck. And they couldn't reach their place at the accurate time, at the right time. In order to reach their destination on time, they hurry and break the traffic laws. Yep, so that's fine. But no, is it? Because the main idea is they break the traffic laws because they're in a hurry. So I think you're describing why they're in a hurry, not why they're breaking traffic rules. So no, you're not focusing on the right thing there, Saru. Frozkan, one of the main reasons why traffic rules are often violated is that people are always in a hurry to arrive at their destination at the same time. At present, most jobs in the cities have the same office hours, which start from 8 a.m. And because of this, many people are on the roads racing with each other, causing them to violate traffic rules. This is excellent. This is by far the best response so far. Yep. You're making article mistakes, so that's something you can focus on. But this is what you've all been trying to do, explaining why it happens. Good. Rupinder, another reason is that some rules are not rigid, which further increases the chances of not being followed by citizens. Not sure what that would mean. So if the rule wasn't rigid, would mean that it's not. So if it would mean that the rule is too vague. So like if the rule was don't go too fast, but they didn't say how fast too fast was. So some people think too fast is 60, some people think too fast is 100. That's kind of what you're describing. I don't think that's the scenario. Hey Jashan, good to see you. Naomi's here. Hey Naomi. Every country has put in place traffic laws such as speed limits. This is to make sure of road safety. However, these laws are usually not followed. It's not that they're not usually followed. It's not that more than half of them are not been followed. It's just that they've been broken very often. So that last part of your paraphrase isn't accurate. Arzu, people have to report to their offices or desired places on scheduled time, which makes them anxious and eventually results in breaking of the traffic rules. I like this. I like that you've put anxious. So they're feeling anxious, and that's the force or the cause behind them wanting to go faster. For example, when I travel by my personal bike to the workplace, the only things that come to my mind, the only thing that I'm thinking about is reaching my workplace on time. And as a result, I break most of the traffic rules. I think I would rephrase that and say, as a result, I often break traffic rules, or I sometimes break traffic rules. Because if you want to say that you break most of the traffic rules, I don't know how many traffic rules there are, but let's say if there are 100 traffic rules, you're saying that you break most of them on your one trip to work. But I'd imagine it's that you break some, or you sometimes break some, not that you always break most. So just a bit of a inaccuracy with the language there. So, as in India, if people had to drive at higher speeds nearby schools and hospitals, they would have been charged only small amount of money. So what are we talking about here, Rupinder? Is this to resolve the issue, there needs to be stricter punishments? I don't see. I'm not sure what you're referring to. I'm not sure what part of the essay this is supposed to be. Stella, one of the major causes of this issue is that most people are anxious and not focused on their driving, and their minds are wandering, thinking of reaching their destination as quickly as they can, so they tend to overspeed, or just they tend to speed. There's no need to say overspeed, just speed means go too fast. So no need for the over there. Zalatina, people often break traffic rules because they lack discipline and time management, resulting in overspeeding just to arrive on time. Good. You need to elaborate on that more, but that's good. Yeah, good. Maravik, measure the government should. Okay, measure. The government should be more strict when they take their license. When they issue. The government should be more strict when they issue driving licenses. There we go. Hi, Roshan. Okay, so the way we would go from there then is we looked at one cause, and that would go in the same paragraph as the second cause. So first and second cause would go in one paragraph. Now we're looking at the measure, and again, the first and second measure would go in the same paragraph, and then we'd have our conclusion. So what's on screen here is just the first paragraph, is the introduction. So in total, there would be 4, and we've looked at how to develop the first half of each of those. And then obviously we would need the conclusion at the end. So I'll just give feedback to anyone else who still needs feedback. If anybody has any questions, not necessarily about this question, but questions about Ielts, I'm happy to answer. So I'm going to give feedback to whoever's left, whoever has shared stuff with me. I'll answer any questions you have, but we're not going to develop any more of these ideas because we're running out of time here at the moment. Besides that, like I said, sign up for those live feedback lessons. You can use my one-on-one services if you need more support, and also make sure to share Complete Test Success, share my materials, and make people aware, any friends, family members, any colleagues you have doing the IELTS test. Make sure to make them aware that I'm available to help them. Dishari, most people want to reach their destination on time. For that, if they got the opportunity, break traffic rules. Another reason is rules of flexibility. That means if someone violates the rules, they do not get proper punishment. Okay, those ideas are fine. But the thing as well is, like, what you're not really addressing is, like, why do they need to speed? So, I mean, if I'm driving to work and it takes me 30 minutes to drive there, then I leave 30 minutes before I work, and then I get there on time. You know, when you live in a place, you have a fairly good idea how long it takes you to get to work. But what Zelatina has here is saying that because they lack discipline and they got bad time management, that's what's happening. So it's that they're not leaving on time. So it takes me 30 minutes to work, but I don't leave until 20 minutes before work. So what Zelatina is describing is people with bad time management who they're trying to make up for the time that they've already lost because they're going to be late otherwise. So that's you kind of need to, it's nice to get to the core of that and not just say, like, make it sound like the only way to arrive on time is to break the rules. But most people will give themselves enough time, but we have these particular people and these are the ones who are breaking the rules. Roshan, no problem whatsoever. And like we were saying with Stella, just watch the recording. You can get involved that way. Stella, to solve this problem, the government should place speed cameras on most of the roads so that the culprits are punished for their wrongdoings. Good. Yeah, good. Different idea. Obviously, like, that wouldn't belong in the essay we're looking at here. So we've already decided on 2 different main ideas, two different measures. So what you've said wouldn't belong in this essay. It does belong in an answer to this question, but because we've already decided on our 4 main ideas, you wouldn't introduce another main idea after that. So just to be clear, it wouldn't belong in our essay, but it would belong in a response to that question. Koji, people break traffic rules, plural, rules, because a lot more people aren't knowledgeable about the traffic rules. Okay, so they're breaking them because they don't know that they don't know about them. That makes sense. And the fact that they want to reach their destinations on time. So, yeah, so they don't know what the rules are and they're in a rush. So yeah, that makes sense. Vinny, how should develop ideas during the self-practice time? Well, it's about recognizing. It depends what your problem is, to be honest. So, is the problem that your development isn't relevant, or that your development isn't appropriate? Is it that your development isn't about the question? Is it that your development isn't about the main idea you said it was going to be about? Are you going off topic? Is it you can't think of ideas? Like in general, what you want to do is you want to plan your essay first. So like we're kind of doing it in a different pattern, because I just want to get your ideas. I just want to see your writing so I can give you feedback. But when you're writing your task 2 essay, you don't just jump straight in. You'll analyze the question, and then you'll plan your essay. And as you're planning your essay, you will be analyzing everything. So, you're going to look at your 4 main ideas and go, are they all relevant? Are they all specific? If any of them are not, you would remove it and replace it with an appropriate idea. Then you're going to look at how you're going to develop each of those. So you're planning all of this in advance. And in general, if you're having a problem with thinking of how to develop ideas, where I see a lot of students going wrong is they will practice writing essays. So what they'll do is they'll sit down, they'll get one question every day, and they'll spend an hour writing one answer. But if your problem is you cannot develop your ideas, then you shouldn't spend an hour writing an answer. You should spend an hour developing ideas for one question, then another question, develop ideas, another one. So by writing plans, you're getting more practice of what you're not able to do than going through the full process of writing it down. So it just depends on what your problem is, Bini. I know I'm not answering your question directly. The reason is because it depends on what problem you're having, why you're not able to do it, or what mistakes you're making. How to get a band 6 in 8 days. I'd say use my one-on-one service to find out what mistakes you're making. You might be able to improve your grammar a little bit. You're not going to work on your vocab. Like what you might be making mistakes with vocab because you're taking risks. So that has happened quite often, where I'll look at a student's work and they're capable of a higher score in vocab, but they're taking too many risks, making too many mistakes. But you're not going to improve your vocab ability. You can improve your vocab score, but you're not going to improve your vocab ability. And then it's just making sure that you know how to get a high task achievement score, how to organize your answer. Like in 8 days, like you'll have to get feedback. It's like learn what to do, get feedback, make sure you don't repeat the same mistakes that are pointed out in your feedback. But then if the issue is that your vocab is a band 5 level or your grammar is a band 5 level, you're not going to get a band 6. But if you already have vocab and grammar at a band 6 level, then as long as you figure out what mistakes you're making, and learn to avoid those, that you can do it in 8 days. Can we get band 6 writing in 8 days? You can. In general, I would prefer to have more time with a student. So like I'm suggesting you use my one-on-one essay corrections. But what I like to have is like on my Ielts writing course, I wouldn't allow a student join if they only had 8 days left before their test. Because what I do on my course is consistently give you feedback, consistently work on your weaknesses. It comes with lifetime access. So, that might take you 2 months. It might take someone else 6 months. But the idea is we will see when you're ready and then you'll book your test. However, you only have 8 days, and that's why I would suggest the one-on-one, where you just at least find out what you're doing wrong, avoid as many mistakes as possible, and get the best possible score you can at your current level. But 8 days, I mean, if you have the language ability, you have a good shot. Koji, how can we get Zoom links? So I shared that with you. I can share it with you again here. So firstly, just sign up here with these links. Click on that, sign up for the free live feedback lessons. And from there, you'll see the full schedule. They're like the times, the dates, the times, the topics of the lessons. The schedule is there. You just click on the Zoom link from the platform. Mohammed, punishment is a magical solution. That sounds a bit informal. I wouldn't go with magical solution. Just say punishment is a solution. If any individual knows about punishment forms, he will respect. They will respect, because the individual might be female. They will respect the traffic rules. But the thing as well is, like, most rules would come with punishments, which is why what we were talking about in the essay. Sorry, I'm after getting my software mixed up here. What we were talking about in the essay was stricter punishments. So we didn't say that they should introduce punishments, because we're going to assume that every country will have a punishment for breaking the law, but we're saying stricter, as in more strict than they already are. So we're assuming there are already punishments, but the people don't care about the punishments. If we make those punishments more strict or stricter, then people will pay more attention to them. So keep that in mind as well. There are different types of punishments for breaking traffic rules, such as paying a fine, imprisoning in some cases. Yep. So I mean, that's true, but you're not really. The way you're talking makes it sound like there aren't any punishments currently, which wouldn't be the case. Beanie, you're very welcome. What I do to get band 8, like have pretty much fluent English. If your English is as good as your first language, that's what you need to do to get a band 8. So, like, the band 8 is very, very, very strong. Not many students get a band 8. But the thing as well is, like, pretty much every time someone says that they want a band 8, they don't need a band 8. Very, very, very rarely do people actually need a band 8. What normally happens is the student needs a band 7, but they're told if they get higher, that's better. But, there's a big difference between a 7 and an 8. It could be 2 years of study in the difference, to go from a band 7 to a band 8. It's a pretty big deal. So unless you really, really need a band 8, I would say aim for the score that you actually need. Maravik, you're very welcome. Hey, Prav. Okay, so that seems to be all the questions answered. Like I was saying, sign up for those free live feedback lessons. You can use those one-on-one services, and do make sure to share complete test success with those other people or any groups you're in for Ielts. Okay, if at solution 1, provide ad on TV following the rules and restrictions. So that would be like a public awareness campaign. Other students were saying that. So to have advertisements about, the dangers of breaking the rules. Yep, that works. And a fine on different circumstances. Yep. So that's 2. That's 2. You have two ideas under solution 1. That's not 1. That's 2 ideas. Solution 2, teaching in school. Yep, that's good. Okay, Frascan, one possible solution in order for people to follow traffic rules is for the government to come up with more stringent penalties, as people would only take a rule seriously if it can cause them big problems. So 2 plural mistakes there. Therefore, stricter punishment is a strong motivation for motorists to pay attention. pay attention to the traffic laws. Yeah. So just some language errors, but that's good development. Okay, so let's leave it at that. If you are already subscribed, I'll see you in the live feedback lesson on Zoom tomorrow. If not, I will see you in the live stream next week. So more live streams next week on YouTube and Facebook as well. So I'll see you in either of those. Take care of yourselves and have a good weekend if I don't see you tomorrow.